Alice Walker. 1955. 1955. The car is a brand new red Thunderbird convertible, and it's passed the house more than once. It slows down real slow now, and stops at the curb. An older gentleman dressed like a Baptist deacon gets out on the side near the house, and a young fellow who looks about 16 gets out on the driver's side. They are white, and I wonder what in the world they doing in this neighborhood. Well, I say to JT, put your shirt on, anyway, and let me clean these glasses off of the table. We had been watching the ball game on TV. I wasn't actually watching, I was sort of daydreaming, with my foots up in JT's lap. I seen 'em coming on up the walk, brisk, like they coming to sell something, and then they rung the bell, and JT declined to put on a shirt but instead disappeared into the bedroom where the other television is. I turned down the one in the living room. I figured I'd be rid of these two double quick and JT could come back out again. "Are you Gracie May still?" asked the old guy, when I opened the door and put my hand on the lock inside the screen. "And I don't need to buy a thing," said I. "What makes you think we're sellin'?" he asks, in that hearty southern way that makes my eyeballs ache. Well, one way or another and they're inside the house, and the first thing the young fellow does is raise the TV a couple of decibels. He's about 5'9", sort of womanish looking, with real dark white skin and a red pouting mouth. His hair is black and curly and he looks like a Louisiana Creole. "About one of your songs," says the deacon. He is maybe 60, with white hair and beard, white silk shirt, black linen suit, black tie and black shoes. His cold grey eyes look like they're sweating. "One of my songs? Trainer here just loves your songs. Don't you, Trainer?" He nudges Trainer with his elbow. Trainer blinks, says something I can't catch in a pitch I don't register. "The boy learned to sing and dance livin' round you people out in the country. Practically cut his teeth on you." Trainer looks up at me and bites his thumbnail. I laugh. Well, one way or another they leave with my agreement that they can record one of my songs. The deacon writes me a check for $500, the boy grunts his awareness of the transaction, and I am laughing all over myself by the time I rejoin JT. Just as I am snuggling down beside him though, I hear the front door bell going off again. "Forget his hat?" asks JT. "I hope not," I say. The deacon stands there leaning on the door frame, and once again I'm thinking of those sweaty-looking eyeballs of his. I wonder if sweat makes your eyeballs pink, because his are sure pink. Pink and grey, and it strikes me that nobody I'd care to know is behind them. "I forgot one little thing," he says pleasantly. "I forgot to tell you, Trainer, and I would like to buy up all of those records you made of the song. I tell you, we sure do love it." Well, love it or not, I'm not so stupid as to let them do that without making 'em pay. So I says, "Well, that's gonna cost you." Because, really, that song never did sell all that good, so I was glad they was going to buy it up. But on the other hand, them two listening to my song by themselves, and nobody else getting to hear me sing it, give me a pause. Well, one way or another the deacon showed me where I would come out ahead on any deal he had proposed so far. "Didn't I give you $500? he asked. "What white man, and don't even need to mention colored, would give you more? We buy up all your records of that particular song, first, you get royalties. Let me ask you, how much you sell that song for in the first place?" $50? $100, I say. "And no royalties from it yet, right?" "Right." "Well, when we buy up all of them records, you gonna get royalties. And that's gonna make all them race record shops sit up and take notice of Gracie May still. And they gonna push all them other records of yourn they got. And you no doubt will become one of the big name colored recording artists. And then we can offer you another $500 for letting us do all this for you. And by God, you'll be sittin' pretty. You can go out and buy you the kind of outfit a star should have. Plenty sequins and yards of red satin." I had done unlocked the screen when I saw I could get some more money out of him. Now I held it wide open while he squeezed through the opening between me and the door. He whipped out another piece of paper and I signed it. He sort of trotted out to the car and slid in beside Trainer, whose head was back against the seat. They swung around in a U-turn in front of the house and then they was gone. JT was putting his shirt on when I got back to the bedroom. Yankees beat the Orioles 10-6, he said. I believe I'll drive out to Pascal's Pond and go fishing. Want to go? While I was putting on my pants, JT was holding the 2 checks. I'm real proud of a woman that can make cash money without leaving home, he said. And I said because we met on the road with me singing in first one little lowlife juke after another, making $10 a night for myself if I was lucky, and sometimes bringing home nothing but my life. And JT just loved them times. The way I was fast and flashy and always on the go from one town to another. He loved the way my singin' made the dirt farmers cry like babies and the women's shout honey, hush. But that's men's. They loves any style to which you can get 'em accustomed. 1956. My little grandbaby called me one night on the phone, little mama, there's a white man on the television singing one of your songs. Turn on channel 5. Lord, if it wasn't Trainer. Still looking half asleep from the neck up, but kind of awake in a nasty way from the waist down. He wasn't doing too bad with my song either, but it wasn't just the song the people in the audience was screeching and screaming over, it was that nasty little jerk he was doing from the waist down. Well, Lord have mercy, I said, listening to him. If I'd closed my eyes, it could have been me. He had followed every turning of my voice, side streets, avenues, red lights, train crossings, and all. It give me a chill. Everywhere I went I heard Trainer singing my song, and all the little white girls just eating it up. I never had so many ponytails switched across my line of vision in my life. They was so proud. He was a genius. Well, all that year I was trying to lose weight anyway, and that and high blood pressure and sugar kept me pretty well occupied. Trainer had made a smash from a song of mine, I still had $700 of the original $1,000 in the bank, and I felt if I could just bring my weight down, life would be sweet. 1957. I lost 10 pounds in 1956. That's what I give myself for Christmas. And JT and me and the children and their friends and grandkids of all description had just finished dinner, over which I had put on 9.5 of my lost 10 when who should appear at the front door but Trainer. Little mama, it's that white man who sings underscore 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 underscore. The children didn't call it my song anymore. Nobody did. It was funny how that happened. Trainer and the Deacon had bought up all my records, true, but on his record he had put written by Gracie May Still. But that was just another name on the label, like produced by Apex Records. On the TV he was inclined to dress like the Deacon told him. But now he looked presentable. Merry Christmas, said he. And same to you, son. I don't know why I called him son. Well, one way or another they're all our sons. The only requirement is that they be younger than us. But then again, Trainer seemed to be aging by the minute. You looks tired, I said. Come on in and have a glass of Christmas cheer. JT ain't never in his life been able to act decent to a white man he wasn't working for, but he poured Trainer a glass of bourbon and water, then he took all the children and grandkids and friends and whatnot out to the den. After a while I heard Trainer's voice singing the song, coming from the stereo console. It was just the kind of Christmas present my kids would consider cute. I looked at Trainer, complicit. But he looked like it was the last thing in the world he wanted to hear. His head was pitched forward over his lap, his hands holding his glass and his elbows on his knees. I done sung that song seem like a million times this year, he said. I sung it on the Grand Ole Opry, I sung it on the Ed Sullivan Show. I sung it on Mike Douglas, I sung it at the Cotton Bowl, the Orange Bowl. I sung it at festivals. I sung it at fairs. I sung it overseas in Rome, Italy, and once in a submarine underseas. I've sung it, and I'm making $40,000 a day off of it, and you know what, I don't have the faintest notion what that song means. What you mean, what do it mean? It mean what it says. All I could think was, these suckers is making 40,000 a day off of my song and now they gonna come back and try to swindle me out of the original 1,000. It's just a song, I said. KG. When you fool around with a lot of no-count mens you sing a bunch of M. I shrugged. Oh, he said. Well. He started brightening up. I just come by to tell you I think you are a great singer. He didn't blush, saying that. Just said it straight out. And I brought you a little Christmas present too. Now you take this little box and you hold it until I drive off. Then you take it outside under that first street light back up the street a ways in front of that greenhouse. Then you open the box and see. Well, just see. What had come over this boy, I wondered, holding the box. I looked out the window in time to see another white man come up and get in the car with him and then 2 more cars full of white men start out behind him. They was all in long black cars that looked like a funeral procession. Little mama, what it is? One of my grandkids come running up and started pulling at the box. It was wrapped in gay Christmas paper, the thick, rich kind that it's hard to picture folks making just to throw away. JT and the rest of the crowd followed me out the house, up the street to the streetlight and in front of the greenhouse. Nothing was there but somebody's gold-grilled white Cadillac. Brand new and most distracting. We got to looking at it so till I almost forgot the little box in my hand. While the others were busy making miration, I carefully took off the paper and ribbon and folded them up and put them in my pants pocket. What should I see but a pair of genuine solid gold caddy keys. Dangling the keys in front of everybody's nose, I unlocked the caddy, motioned for JT to get in on the other side, and us didn't come back home for 2 days. 1960. Well, the boy was sure enough famous by now. He was still a mite shy of 20 but already they was calling him the Emperor of Rock and Roll. Then what should happen but the draft? Well, says JT. There goes all this Emperor of Rock and Roll business. But even in the army the women's was on him like white on rice. We watched it on the news. Dear Gracie May, he wrote from Germany. How you? Fine, I hope as this lows me doing real well. Before I come in the army I was gaining a lot of weight and getting jittery from making all them dumb movies. But now I'll exercise and eat right and get plenty of rest. I'm more awake than I've been in 10 years. I wonder if you are writing any more songs? Sincerely, Trainer. I wrote him back. Dear son. We is all fine in the Lord's good grace and hope this finds you the same. JT and me be out all times of the day and night in that car you give me, which you know you didn't have to do. Oh, and I do appreciate the mink and the new self-cleaning oven. But if you send any more stuff to eat from Germany I'm going to have to open up a store in the neighborhood just to get rid of it. Really, we have more than enough of everything. The Lord is good to us and we don't know want. Glad to hear you is well and getting your right rest. There ain't nothing like exercising to help that along. JT and me work some part of every day that we don't go fishing in the garden. Well, so long, soldier. Sincerely. Gracie May. He wrote. Dear Gracie May. I hope you and JT like that automatic power tiller I had one of the stores back home send you. I went through a mountain of catalogs looking for it. I wanted something that even a woman could use. I've been thinking about writing some songs of my own, but every time I finish one it don't seem to be about nothing I've actually lived myself. My agent keeps sending me other people's songs but they just sound moony. I can hardly get through 'em without gagging. Everybody still loves that song of yours. They ask me all the time what do I think it means, really. I mean, they want to know just what I want to know. Where out of your life did it come from? Sincerely. Trainer. 1968. I didn't see the boy for 7 years. No 8. Because just about everybody was dead when I saw him again. Malcolm X, King, the president, and his brother, and even JT died of a head cold. It just settled in his head like a block of ice, he said, and nothing we did moved it until one day he just leaned out the bed and died. His good friend Horace helped me put him away, and then about a year later Horace and me started going together. We was sitting out on the front porch swing one summer night, dusk dark, and I saw this great procession of lights winding to a stop. "Holy Toledo!" said Horace. "He's got a real sexy voice like Ray Charles. Look at it." He meant the long line of flashy cars and the white men in white summer suits jumping out on the driver's sides and standing at attention. With wings they could pass for angels, with hoods they could be the Klan. Trainer comes waddling up the walk. And suddenly I know what it is he could pass for. An Arab like the ones you see in storybooks. Plump and soft and with never a care about weight. Because with so much money, who cares? Trainer is almost dressed like someone from a storybook too. He has on, I swear, about 10 necklaces. 2 sets of bracelets on his arms, at least 1 ring on every finger, and some kind of shining buckles on his shoes, so that when he walks you get quite a few twinkling lights. "Gracie May," he says, coming up to give me a hug. "JT. I explain that JT passed. That this is Horace. "Horace," he says, puzzled but polite, sort of rocking back on his heels. "Horace. That's it for Horace. He goes in the house and don't come back. Looks like you and me is gained a few," I say. He laughs. The first time I ever heard him laugh. It don't sound much like a laugh and I can't swear that it's better than no laugh at all. He's getting fat for sure, but he's still slim compared to me. I'll never see 300 pounds again and I've just about said, "Excuse me, fuck it." I got to thinking about it one day and I thought, aside from the fact that they say it's unhealthy, my fat ain't never been no trouble. Men's always have loved me. My kids ain't never complained. Plus they's fat. And fat like I looks distinguished. You see me coming and know somebody's there. "Gracie May," he says, "I've come with a personal invitation to you to my house tomorrow for dinner." He laughed. What did it sound like? I couldn't place it. "See them men out there?" he asked me. "I'm sick and tired of eating with them. They don't never have nothing to talk about. That's why I eat so much. But if you come to dinner tomorrow we can talk about the old days. You can tell me about that farm I bought you." "I sold it," I said. "You did?" "Yeah," I said, "I did. Just cause I said I liked to exercise by working in a garden didn't mean I wanted 500 acres. Anyhow, I'm a city girl now. Raised in the country it's true. Dirt poor the whole bit but that's all behind me now." "Oh well," he said, "I didn't mean to offend you." We sat a few minutes listening to the crickets. Then he said, "You wrote that song while you was still on the farm, didn't you, or was it right after you left?" "You had somebody spying on me?" I asked. "You and Bessie Smith got into a fight over it once," he said. "You is been spying on me. But I don't know what the fight was about," he said. "Just like I don't know what happened to your second husband. Your first one died in the Texas electric chair. Did you know that? Your third one beat you up, stole your touring costumes and your car and retired with a Corrine to Tuskegee." He laughed. "He's still there." I had been mad, but suddenly I calmed down. Trainer was talking very dreamily. It was dark but seems like I could tell his eyes weren't right. It was like something was sitting there talking to me but not necessarily with a person behind it. "You gave up on marrying and seem happier for it." He laughed again. "I married but it never went like it was supposed to. I never could squeeze any of my own life either into it or out of it. It was like singing somebody else's record. I copied the way it was supposed to be exactly but I never had a clue what marriage meant. I bought her a diamond ring big as your fist. I bought her clothes. I built her a mansion. But right away she didn't want the boys to stay there. Said they smoked up the bottom floor. Hell, there were floors. No need to grieve, I said. No need to. Plenty more where she come from. He perked up. That's part of what that song means, ain't it? No need to grieve. Whatever it is, there's plenty more down the line. I never really believed that way back when I wrote that song, I said. It was all bluffing then. The trick is to live long enough to put your young bluffs to use. Now if I was to sing that song today I'd tear it up. 'Cause I done lived long enough to know it's true. Them words could hold me up. I ain't lived that long, he said. Look like you on your way, I said. I don't know why, but the boy seemed to need some encouraging. And I don't know, seem like one way or another you talk to rich white folks and you end up reassuring them. But what the hell, by now I feel something for the boy. I wouldn't be in his bed all alone in the middle of the night for nothing. Couldn't be nothing worse than being famous the world over for something you don't even understand. That's what I tried to tell Bessie. She wanted that same song. Overheard me practicing it one day, said, with her hands on her hips, Gracie May, I'ma sing your song tonight. I likes it. Your lips be too swole to sing, I said. She was mean and she was strong, but I trounced her. Ain't you famous enough with your own stuff? I said. Leave mine alone. Later on, she thanked me. By then she was Miss Bessie Smith to the world, and I was still Miss Gracie May nobody from Notasulga. The next day all these limousines arrived to pick me up. 5 cars and 12 bodyguards. Horace picked that morning to start painting the kitchen. Don't paint the kitchen, fool, I said. The only reason that dumb boy of ours is going to show me his mansion is because he intends to present us with a new house. What you gonna do with it? He asked me, standing there in his shirt sleeves stirring the paint. Sell it. Give it to the children. Liven it on weekends. It don't matter what I do. He sure don't care. Horace just stood there shaking his head. Mama, you sure looks good, he says. Wake me up when you get back. Fool, I say, and pat my wig in front of the mirror. The boy's house is something else. First you come to this mountain, and then you commence to drive up this road that's lined with magnolias. Do magnolias grow on mountains? I was wondering. And you come to lakes and you come to ponds and you come to deer and you come up on some sheep. And I figure these two is supposed to represent England and Wales. Or something out of Europe. And you just keep on coming to stuff. And it's all pretty. Only the man driving my car don't look at nothing but the road. Fool. And then finally, after all this time, you begin to go up the driveway. And there's more magnolias, only they're not in such good shape. It's sort of cool up this high and I don't think they're gonna make it. And then I see this building that looks like if it had a name it would be the Terra Hotel. Columns and steps and outdoor chandeliers and rocking chairs. Rocking chairs? Well, and there's the boy on the steps dressed in a dark green satin jacket like you see folks wearing on TV late at night, and he looks sort of like a fat Dracula with all that house rising behind him, and standing beside him there's this little white vision of loveliness that he introduces as his wife. He's nervous when he introduces us and he says to her, "This is Gracie May Still, I want you to know me." I mean, and she gives him a look that would fry meat. "Won't you come in, Gracie May," she says, and that's the last I see of her. He fishes around for something to say or do and decides to escort me to the kitchen. We go through the entry and the parlor and the breakfast room and the dining room and the servants' passage and finally get there. The first thing I notice is that, altogether, there are 5 stoves. He looks about to introduce RNE to one. Wait a minute, I say. Kitchens don't do nothing for me. Let's go sit on the front porch. Well, we hike back and we sit in the rocking chairs rocking until dinner. Gracie May, he says down the table, taking a piece of fried chicken from the woman standing over him, I got a little surprise for you. It's a house, ain't it? I ask, spearing a chitlin. You're getting spoiled, he says. And the way he says spoiled sounds funny. He slurs it. It sounds like his tongue is too thick for his mouth. Just that quick he's finished the chicken and is now eating chitlins and a pork chop. Me spoiled, I'm thinking. I already got a house. Horace is right this minute painting the kitchen. I bought that house. My kids feel comfortable in that house. But this one I bought you is just like mine. Only a little smaller. I still don't need no house. And anyway, who would clean it? He looks surprised. Really, I think, some people's advance so slowly. I hadn't thought of that. But what the hell, I'll get you somebody to live in. I don't want other folks living round me. Makes me nervous. You don't? It do? What I want to wake up and see folks I don't even know for. He just sits there down table staring at me. Some of that feeling is in the song, ain't it? Not the words, the feeling. What I want to wake up and see folks I don't even know for. But I see 20 folks a day I don't even know, including my wife. This food wouldn't be bad to wake up to though, I said. The boy had found the genius of cornbread. He looked at me real hard. He laughed. Short. They want what you got but they don't want you. They want what I got only it ain't mine. That's what makes 'em so hungry for me when I sing. They getting the flavor of something but they ain't getting the thing itself. They like a pack of hound dogs trying to gobble up a scent. You talking 'bout your fans? Right. Right. He says. Don't worry 'bout your fans, I say. They don't know their asses from a hole in the ground. I doubt there's a honest one in the bunch. That's the point. Damn it, that's the point. He hits the table with his fist. It's so solid it don't even quiver. You need a honest audience. You can't have folks that's just gonna lie right back to you. Yeah, I say, it was small compared to yours, but I had one. It would have been worth my life to try to sing somebody else's stuff loaf that I didn't know nothing about. He must have pressed a buzzer under the table. One of his flunkies zombies up. Get Johnny Carson, he says. On the phone? Asks the zombie. On the phone, says Trainer. What you think I mean, get him off of the front porch? Move your ass. So 2 weeks later we's on the Johnny Carson show. Trainer is all corseted down nice and looks a little bit fat but mostly good. And all the women that grew up on him and my song squeal and squeal. Trainer says, the lady who wrote my first hit record is here with us tonight, and she's agreed to sing it for all of us, just like she sung it 45 years ago. Ladies and gentlemen, the great Gracie May Still. Well, I had tried to lose a couple of pounds my own self, but failing that I had me a very big dress made. So I sort of rolls over next to Trainer, who is dwarfed by me, so that when he puts his arm around back of me to try to hug me it looks funny to the audience and they laugh. I can see this pisses him off. But I smile out there at him. Imagine squealing for 20 years and not knowing why you're squealing? No more sense of endings and beginnings than hogs. It don't matter, son, I say. Don't fret none over me. I commence to sing. And I sound wonderful. Being able to sing good ain't all about having a good singing voice at all. A good singing voice helps. But when you come up in the hard shell Baptist church like I did you understand early that the fellow that sings is the singer. Them that waits for programs and arrangements and letters from home is just good voices occupying body space. So there I am singing my own song, my own way. And I give it all I got and enjoy every minute of it. When I finish Trainer is standing up clapping and beaming at first me and then the audience like I'm his mama for true. The audience claps politely for about 2 seconds. Trainer looks disgusted. He comes over and tries to hug me again. The audience laughs. Johnny Carson looks at us like we both weird. Trainer is mad as hell. He's supposed to sing something called a love ballad. But instead he takes the mic, turns to me and says, "Now see if my imitation still holds up." He goes into the same song, our song, I think, looking out at his flaky audience. And he sings it just the way he always did. My voice, my tone, my inflection, everything. But he forgets a couple of lines. Even before he's finished, the matronly squeals begin. He sits down next to me looking whipped. "It don't matter, son," I say, patting his hand. "You don't even know those people. Try to make the people you know happy." "Is that in the song?" he asks. "Maybe," I say. 1977. For a few years I hear from him, then nothing. But trying to lose weight takes all the attention I got to spare. I finally faced up to the fact that my fat is the hurt I don't admit, not even to myself, and that I've been trying to bury it from the day I was born. But also when you get real old, to tell the truth, it ain't as pleasant. It gets lumpy and slack. Yuck. So one day I said to Horace, "I'ma get this shit off of me." And he fell in with the program like he always tried to do, and lord such a procession of salads and cottage cheese and fruit juice. One night I dreamed Trainer had split up with his 15th wife. He said, "You meet M for no reason. You date M for no reason. You marry M for no reason. I do it all, but I swear it's just like somebody else doing it. I feel like I can't remember life." "The boy's in trouble," I said to Horace. "You've always said that," he said. "I have? Yeah. You always said he looked asleep. You can't sleep through life if you wants to live it. You not such a fool after all," I said, pushing myself up with my cane and hobbling over to where he was. "Let me sit down on your lap," I said, "while this salad I ate takes effect." In the morning we heard Trainer was dead. Some said fat, some said heart, some said alcohol, some said drugs. One of the children called from Detroit. "Them dumb fans of his is on a crying rampage," she said. "You just ought to turn on the TV." But I didn't want to see 'em. They was crying and didn't even know what they was crying for. One day this is going to be a pitiful country, I thought.